All right, welcome. Today, we're going to break down one of the most critical decisions any business can make. And honestly, one where a lot of them get it wrong. We're talking about how to choose the right problems to solve.
So let's start with a question. In a world full of tight deadlines and never-ending to-do lists, what could possibly be worse than having a big, hairy business problem staring you in the face?
You guessed it, it's solving the wrong one. I mean, think about it. Pouring all that time, that energy, and that money into issues that don't really move the needle, it's just a massive drain on the entire organization.
Now, to avoid this exact trap, to make absolutely sure they're focused on the right problems, a lot of top performing companies rely on a very specific kind of expert they have on their teams. And that expert is the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. You can think of them as your internal problem-solving heroes. They're trained with this powerful set of tools to analyze how things work, hunt down waste, and just make everything better, faster, and way more efficient. But here's the thing. There's a catch. Even the most skilled problem solver, armed with all the best tools in the world, is only as good as the mission they're sent on.
And that's the real challenge, right? The one that can make or break an entire improvement effort. When you've got a list of 20, 30, maybe 100 different things that could be fixed, how in the world do you pick the one that's actually going to deliver the most bang for your buck? Well, the secret is all about knowing the difference between work that just keeps people busy and projects that create real, tangible impact. Busy work, yeah, it's easy. It looks good on a weekly report, but it's low reward. Impactful work, now that's the good stuff. It solves a real customer problem and lines up perfectly with what the business is trying to achieve. So, how do we do it? How do we systematically pick those impactful projects every single time? Well, the best companies don't just guess or go with their gut. They use a clear, disciplined set of rules to guide them. And in the world of business and services, any potential project really has to be measured against these three core pillars. You can think of them like the legs of a stool. If you're missing even one, the whole thing is probably going to fall flat. First up, we've got the financial pillar. The question here is super simple. Does this project have a clear, measurable effect on the company's bottom line? We're looking for real results, things like cutting costs, growing revenue, or big gains in efficiency. And hey, we are not talking about small potatoes here. A really well-chosen Greenbelt project is expected to deliver some serious, quantifiable returns. We're often talking $150,000 a year, or even more. But it's not all about the money. The second pillar forces us to ask, how is this project going to be felt by the most important people in any business, the customers? A truly great project has to deliver a direct benefit to them. This could mean something like slashing those frustrating wait times, getting rid of annoying service errors, or just plain boosting customer satisfaction scores. The best projects create a win-win, right? They make the business better by making the customer's experience better. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, strategic fit. Look, a project can save a ton of money and make customers super happy, but if it doesn't line up with where the company is headed, it's basically just a distraction. You have to ask, does this work actually help us hit our biggest goals for the year? Okay, so we've got our three pillars. That's great, but how do we actually use them to make a final call, in a practical, objective way? The answer is this really simple but super powerful idea, a selection funnel. You start by listing all the potential projects. Then you score each one against our three criteria. From there, you just prioritize them based on the score, and boom, you select the clear winner. It takes all the guesswork and emotion right out of the decision. And this table just shows it perfectly. Take a look. You've got Project A and C. They're not terrible, they have some merit. But when you score them objectively, Project B, reducing customer wait times, is the undeniable champion. It scores high on financial impact, customer benefit, and strategic fit. It's a no-brainer. So let's wrap this up by really focusing on the big takeaway here. Why does making this choice, this one decision, so carefully matter so much? Because at the end of the day, this discipline, this process, transforms business improvement from just another cost center into a powerful engine for creating value. It stops being about spending money and starts being about making a strategic investment that's going to generate a huge return. I love this quote because it just nails the mindset shift you have to make. Success isn't about how many projects you can check off a list.
It's all about the massive impact of the few vital projects that you choose to go after.
And that really leaves us with one last powerful question for you. Using this framework, financial impact, customer benefit, and strategic fit, what is the single most valuable problem your team could solve today? Because finding that answer, that's the first step to making a real, lasting difference.